Shower or thunder shower 79. The weekend great, 70s Saturday, 60s on Mother's Day with much lower humidity and mostly sunny skies and nice breezy conditions too. And there's your shoreline highs for the next 7 days. That includes 74 tomorrow. Log on to WFSB.com and you can check out all the weather information you need to know and Channel 3's early warning pinpoint Doppler. Ellen, Denise.
Thank you, Bruce. Still ahead, all new on Eyewitness News at 5. Students loaded onto stretchers and taken to the hospital. How their trip to class ended with a terrifying bang.
Then all new at 5:30. Suffer from back pain that just won't go away? Well, there's a new treatment available right here in Connecticut, and they say it could end your aches for good.
The Morning Show crew, before they made it, tomorrow.
You've been hearing how the tiny town of Greensburg, Kansas was nearly wiped out by that massive tornado, and people are still trying to pick up the pieces there. The storm whipped through last Friday, and although it was destructive, the town is trying to remain positive. The community is starting to rebound, and there's a visit from President Bush trying to lift up the residents and business people. He spent hours there with many of the displaced residents.
I am struck by the strength of the character of the people who live here in the plains. People who refuse to be, who refuse to have their spirit affected by this storm.
And federal emergency management teams are there with their trailers on hand to help people in the rebuilding process. Once power is restored to Greensburg and some of the damage is cleared away, then FEMA will be able to provide temporary housing.
Eyewitness News is everywhere across America tonight. In West Virginia, federal officials say lightning is one cause of the deadly Sago mine blast last year. They say the bolt of lightning traveled down a pump cable inside a sealed section of the mine. This then triggered the methane explosion. A new report says the methane levels inside that mine were not closely monitored. The blast killed 12 miners. Only one man survived. In the Midwest, torrential rains have forced many people and businesses to higher ground. In Missouri, 5 levees in the northwestern part of the state burst under the pressure from the swollen Missouri River. The governor declared a state of emergency yesterday due to the major flooding.
In Maryland today, a school bus crash left a dozen people injured, one of them a police officer who slammed into the bus with his patrol car while rushing to an emergency call. But all of the injuries are said to be minor.
Still ahead, all new on Eyewitness News.
I've been to many homecomings, and this one is the best.
Home at last. We are there as soldiers and their families are reunited after being apart for more than a year.
Then all new at 5:30.
Some neighbors in a Norwich neighborhood see development coming, and they don't like what they're seeing. We'll tell you what's going on coming up.
Computer passwords protect your privacy and money. Or do they? The most common password mistakes and how to avoid them. 9/11.
A New England firefighter has a long trip ahead of him, but it's all for a good cause. Mike Manning was in Hartford today. He started a cross-country bike ride from Boston yesterday, stopping in Brantford last night to raise awareness and funding for the Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors. Manning is hoping to raise $100,000.
People understand that our time here is 90, maybe 100 years. It's finite. And for many people, it's an easy ride. For myself, I can say it sure has been. And I like to make it easier on people that need it to be easier. And that's what this whole bike ride's about.
Now, Manning will stay at firehouses all across the country so that all the money he raises will go to the Burn Society. The bike ride ends in San Jose, California. To track his progress or to make a donation, you can always go to our website, WFSB.com. Click on Family.
Isn't that great? And this is, too, their loved ones hadn't seen them in more than a year, but tonight they're home at last. A group of 50 Connecticut soldiers now back from duty in Afghanistan. And Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Eric Parker was at Bradley Airport today for the joyous reunion.
To say it was a happy reunion wouldn't do it justice. For the dozens of family members who waved flags and held signs at Bradley Airport today, it was a moment of joy 16 months in the making.
I just was shaking and crying. That's all I could think of was, oh my God, he's here, he's home, and I get to take him home.
More emotional, definitely more emotional, but it's great. It's great. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Welcome back, man. The 50 soldiers from the 102nd Infantry Battalion out of New Haven left for Afghanistan in January 2006.
Finally get in here, I was just really excited to see her.
Once you actually come here, it's a feeling you can't explain.
This is the second homecoming for Connecticut troops in just about 2 weeks. These folks came back to the United States with everyone else, but spent 2 weeks doing a leadership course down in South Carolina.
It's the Warrior Leaders course, which is to help develop our leadership skills so that we can go beyond the ranks we currently have.
And what did the loved ones back home think of the delay?
It was worth it. It was worth it for his career, and what's 2 more weeks after 16 months?
Especially now that the waiting is over. In Windsor Locks, Eric Parker, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
And as you may know, that homecoming was bittersweet for this particular battalion because they lost one of their revered members, Staff Sergeant Joseph Faniff Jr. back in December. The 38-year-old from Eastford was killed by a roadside bomb.
The top stories to watch tonight at 5:30. A boycott at the pump calls for a nationwide gas off. But would it really do any good? Backaches and back pain so severe just standing up is a chore. The revolutionary new procedure being done in Connecticut that could have you standing tall. But first, imagine being told that a big apartment complex is about to be built right smack next to your quiet home. One neighborhood says, no thanks.
Live from WFSB, Connecticut's first choice for news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 5:30.
And we begin tonight at 5:30 with breaking news. Just into the Eyewitness newsroom, a brush fire in Naugatuck has flared up again. Now, this is video of the fire last night.
This fire is burning in the High Rock State Park right off of Route 8. The fire, as we mentioned, started last night, extinguished itself this morning, but has started back up again.
Now, DEP crews are there monitoring the situation. At this point, they say they'll just have to let this fire burn itself out once again and then keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on this breaking story for you and bring you more information as it comes in.
Now, there is a lot of worried talk among some residents in a quiet corner of Norwich.
All right, what are they worried about? Well, they're worried about what might be coming to their neighborhood.
The area is between K Street and Whiteman Avenue. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kane is in Norwich with the story. Dan?
Well, earlier this year, the city approved overlay zones to encourage active adult communities, you know, housing for folks over the age of 55. And that's what has folks in this K Street area concerned. They don't want that in their neighborhood. The neighborhood now consists of single-family homes, but should the overlay zone provisions apply, single, two-family, and multiple-family apartments could go in. When a large parcel of open space was recently sold, neighbors started worrying that the character of their community was about to change.
If it does come to a vote or something, somebody will, I'm pretty sure, voice their opinion on that one. Because condos over here, that wouldn't be a good idea.
Okay,
a lot of traffic out here.
Great. When people in the neighborhood started noticing surveyor stakes and tapes, they started thinking something was up. To qualify for an overlay zone for multiple family units, an area has to be more than 10 acres. No buildings can be over 40 feet in height, and there can be no more than 8 buildings per acre.
Zoning, which we tried to get rid of years ago, but now they're calling it by another name.
The city planning department says no plans or applications have yet been filed for the area. Neighbors, however, fear the worst.
Many buildings, and this is like a throughway anyway. Listen to the noise. It's dreadful to think, where are they going to put the traffic?
Any overlay, application for zoning in an overlaid zone would require a special application, and with a special application, there would be public hearings and things like that, so folks in the neighborhood would have a chance to express their concerns should the whole thing come rolling down the road. We're live in Norwich. Dan Kane, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.